Inside El Salvador's megaprison, the world's most brutal gang lockdown. In the heart of El Salvador lies a prison like no other, a fortress built not for rehabilitation, but for absolute containment. There is no mercy, no escape, and no light. Welcome to the Terrorism Confinement Center, CECOT, the world's largest and most feared penitentiary. But is this the future of justice or a human rights catastrophe? Today, we take you behind the towering concrete walls of CECOT, where inmates face a fate worse than death. On March 26, 2022, El Salvador faced its deadliest day in history. 62 people lost their lives to gang violence, an event that shocked the nation to its core. The Salvadoran government had reached a breaking point. Determined to end the bloodshed, President Nayib Bukele launched an unprecedented crackdown, arresting tens of thousands of suspected gang members. Then, in February 2023, Bukele unveiled a video that sent shockwaves across the globe. Thousands of half-naked, tattooed inmates being marched like cattle into a newly constructed concrete labyrinth. This was CECOT, El Salvador's $100 million answer to a decades-long war on crime. But was it justice or a dystopian experiment? Due to the overwhelming number of arrests, El Salvador's overcrowded prisons were bursting at the seams. In July 2022, the government announced plans for a massive new prison that could house up to 40,000 inmates, a fortress designed to keep alleged gang members locked away indefinitely. By the time CECOT opened, over 62,000 people had been arrested under Bukele's sweeping measures. The government extended the provisional detention period indefinitely, allowing authorities to imprison suspects without trial. Even children as young as 12 were being tried as potential gang members. By November 2022, an estimated 1,600 minors had been arrested. CECOT was not just a prison. It was an answer to El Salvador's long, bloody history with gangs. For decades, El Salvador was trapped in a nightmare. Two powerful gangs known as MS-13 and Barrio 18 turned entire cities into war zones. Murders were an everyday occurrence. Extortion was a way of life. Businesses paid protection money or risked execution. Even beyond El Salvador, from the streets of San Salvador to Los Angeles, these gangs spread like a plague. In 2015, El Salvador became the murder capital of the world, with 105 homicides per 100,000 people. By comparison, the global average was just 6. In a single weekend, 87 people were slaughtered. The government had no choice but to strike back hard. Bukele declared a state of exception, suspending constitutional rights. Police raided homes, arresting anyone with tattoos, suspicious social media posts, or even anonymous accusations against them. Within months, over 75,000 people disappeared into the hands of law enforcement. No trials, no second chances, just an iron grip on decades of bloodshed. But where do you put them all? CECOT was built in complete isolation, far from urban centers and any contact with the outside world. Its design is as terrifying as its purpose. 19 watchtowers with armed snipers ready to eliminate any escape attempt. A 15,000-volt electrified fence surrounding the entire facility. More than 600 surveillance cameras tracking every movement. AI-powered facial recognition, ensuring no false identities. Motion sensors detecting even whisper plans. Underground isolation chambers for problem prisoners. Life inside CECOT is designed to break the human spirit. Cells hold 100 inmates each, packed on concrete slabs. There are no windows, no clocks, no names, just numbers. On every day at 6 a.m., a buzzer screams. shackled, shaved bald, and assigned a blue uniform. Prisoners eat in silence. Their meals slid through metal slots. Speaking out of turn, a beating with batons. Showers, twice a week just for 30 seconds. But the worst part isn't the filth. It's the gangs. MS-13 and Barrio 18 are sworn enemies. Yet in CECOT, they are forced together. Leaders still rule in secret, passing messages through food trays and tapping codes on the walls. One inmate told Amnesty International they are simply waiting for revenge. Elsewhere, gang violence spills over. In 2023, a prison soccer game turned into a massacre. Smuggled machetes were used to decapitate rivals. Bodies hung from cell bars as a warning. But in CECOT, silence. Here, even the gangs fear the guards. Bukele's crackdown has delivered results. Over 75,000 arrests since 2022, a 90% drop in homicides. El Salvador is now hailed as the safest country in Latin America. Zero escapes from CECOT since its opening. Once dangerous streets are now filled with children playing. Markets thrive. Salvadorans walk freely, no longer living in fear. Yet, critics argue the cost is too high. Judges work 20-hour shifts to process gangsters in mass trials. Due process is discarded in the name of security. Family members search desperately for loved ones who vanished into CECOT with no legal recourse. Recent developments have pushed CECOT into the global spotlight. In a groundbreaking move, El Salvador has offered to house criminals deported from the United States, even those with U.S. citizenship. During U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's recent tour of Central America, agreements were made to combat illegal migration and drug trafficking, with CECOT proposed as a detention site for international criminals. Many Salvadorans view this as a victory, but international observers warn of human rights violations. Can a country erase its crime problem through mass incarceration? Or is this the birth of something darker? El Salvador's megaprison is a paradox. A nation traded democracy for safety. A president hailed as both a hero and a tyrant. And 40,000 souls buried alive, paying for peace with their humanity. Is this the price of survival or a warning to the world? Has El Salvador found the ultimate solution to gang violence, or is this a step too far? Comment below and let us know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. We will be back with more fascinating stories around the world. Stay tuned to the Fair Story channel.